So today we are going to discuss about nervous system. We have completed all other other tissues in animals. Let us come to nervous tissue, or else you can say nervous system also. In nervous tissue, so mainly there are two types of cells. So nerve cells means we can say neurons and glial cells. They are also called neuroglia. See, you know that in animals there are four major types of tissues like epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and nervous tissue. So when you come to the nervous tissue, basically you can see two different types of cells. Just nerve cells means they may be neurons or glial cells. In this, the most important, which can convey the information, I mean, which can transmit the information, are neurons. So, neurons are called basic structural and functional units of the nervous system, whereas glial cells they are helpful to support. They may be protective in nature. They may be providing a kind of what do you say? Uh, all over. They are present all over the neuron in order to provide the protection. Right. Now, basically, we'll see the structure of nerve cell and neuron now. And in neuron, you might have studied in lower classes. Okay, there are three major parts we can find in the neuron. Just let me draw the simple diagram of neuron. See here, and in the middle you can find a larger part which we call cyton. The largest part, cyton. It is also called perichorion, or it is also called soma. It is also called cell body. So these are different names given to the part, the largest part. And here you can find a large nucleus with nucleolus and a dense cytoplasm you can find, right? And in the cytoplasm, you can find specialized structures which we call Nissl granules. NISSL, Nissl granules. You know, the Nissl granules are made of endoplasmic reticulum and ribosomes. You know, ribosomes, they help in protein synthesis. So, protein synthesis mechanism is present in the cytosol. So, that is the reason why we call perichorion. So, the place for the production and in making of proteins. So, Nissl granules are made of endoplasmic reticulum, ER, and ribosomes. So, ribosomes may be individual or else they may be in groups in the endoplasmic reticulum. Together, we say here Nissl granules. A part of that, we can also find microtubules. Neurofibrils, just thread-like structures. We can also find neurofibrils. So this is about cyton, right? And from the cyton, two different types of cytoplasmic processes will come. Small branches like structures will arise from here, and with tapering ends. Tapering ends means at the end they will become narrower. That is called tapering ends, and these are called dendrites or dendrons. We call like this. Many. It is a branched structure. So what do you call them? Dendrites, dendrites, or dendrons, we call. And when you observe dendrites and dendrons, there also you can find the cytoplasm. These are nothing but cytoplasmic structures. Cytoplasm is present even in the dendrites. Even whatever the nature of the cytoplasm you see in the cyton, same kind. That means cell granules are present, neurofibrils are also present in the what do you say, in dendrites or dendrons. They have attachment with other neurons, and these are essentially required in order to take inputs. So these are the structures which receive information. It's very important point. So dendrons, they help in receiving information, and the processing will be done in the cyton. And the longest projection you can find from the cyton, which we call axon. This is what we call axon. So in the axon also you can find the cytoplasm. Here the cytoplasm of the axon is called axoplasm. Axoplasm. It is with the axoplasm. Here, the cytoplasm of the cyton is called neuroplasm. Don't get confusion. Neuroplasm and axoplasm, these are different terms used to refer cytoplasm of cyton and the cytoplasm of axon. Right. And this axon at the end, it will divide into a few branches. This is called nerve terminals. You can use nerve terminals. Neuroarboreans. Neuroarboreans. Also we can say neuroarborean. We can say, and basically at the end they will show little swelling structures. Little they have swollen at the tips. These are called synaptic knobs. Synaptic knob. The little bulged structures which are present at the end of nerve terminals are called synaptic knob. Just you label this part. Be able to see clearly. This is the cyton in the middle, right? The cyton. So here the cytoplasm of the cyton is called neuroplasm. No doubt. The cytoplasm of the cyton is called neuroplasm. In the neuroplasm, you can find a large nucleus. Then you can find the Nissl granules, which are made of endoplasmic reticulum and ribosomes. And neurofibrils are also present in order to provide structural support. Right. The small processes, branched structures with tapering ends, or the structures which appear like branches, they are called dendrites or dendrons. Basically, many are present. Dendrites or dendrons. Even here in the dendrites, you can find the nature of the cytoplasm as like as in the cyton. That means Nissl granules are present and neurofibrils are also present. But here, very interestingly, in axoplasm, you can find the neurofibrils. Neurofibrils are present, but there are no Nissl granules. That is what very, very important point. How do you identify the axoplasm? If there are no nissel granules. Note down, in axoplasm, that means the cytoplasm of axon doesn't possess nissel granules. That means when there are no nissel granules, sure, it cannot make the proteins.
Can you
So
repeat
it is
again?
supposed to depend. What do you say?
Sir, can you repeat again?
Okay, nissel granules are present in, no doubt, nissel granules are present in cyton and dendrites. Nissel granules are present in cyton and dendrites, absent in axon. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So here nissel granules are made of, with what they are made of? Endoplasmic reticulum and ribosomes. So
Ribosomes and the
ribosomes,
endoplasmic
okay,
reticulum.
ribosomes, they are involved in protein synthesis to make the proteins. So the cytoplasm of cyton can make the proteins, but the cytoplasm of axon cannot make because nissel granules are absent. So axon depends on cyton for the proteins, the necessary proteins. Whatever the proteins are required, the proteins it cannot make because of lack of nissel granules. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Right. So here this axon, it is a long structure, few centimeters. It can be a very long structure, but it ends with nerve terminals, and each nerve terminal shows little swelling, small bulged structure. Bulged structure is seen, which is called synaptic knob. In the synaptic knob, plenty of mitochondria are present. So many mitochondria are present, and also there are certain chemicals which we call neurotransmitters. I will explain later. So mitochondria and certain chemicals are present in the synaptic knobs. Now, so have you drawn the picture?
Yes, sir.
Yes, done. Now, very importantly, we have to focus now in the axon. So over the axon, you can find two layers again. Basically, here there is a layer, the layer of the cells you can find over the axon, which we call neurilemma. Very important point, note down. Neurilemma. Neurilemma is present, and the cells present in the neurilemma are called Schwann cells. So the additional structure, additional layer is present over the axon. The additional layer present over the axon is called neurilemma. Right, neurilemma, and the neurilemma is made of Schwann cells. Schwann cells, Schwann, Schwann cells, name of the scientist, Schwann. Completed?
Yes, sir.
So neurolemma is an additional layer present over the axon and it is made of Schwann cells. Now the Schwann cells they secrete a substance and they produce a substance and they will make up one layer, additional one more layer is made over the axon. This is called myelin sheath. What do you say? Myelin sheath. Myelin sheath, no doubt. So the cells of neurolemma, the cells of neurolemma secrete a layer over the axon over the axon is called myelin sheath. Myelin, myelin sheath. So this is a cell, the cell is covered by cell membrane, cell membrane, right? Or plasma membrane. So the plasma membrane basically which is present over the axon is called, uh, what do you say, oxolemma. Oxolemma means it's just a plasma membrane. Over the plasma membrane, two more layers are present. The outermost is called neurolemma, which is made of Schwann cells, and the cells, Schwann cells secrete another substance which is called myelin sheath. So inside, so first axon, and it is covered by what do you say, plasma lemma, which we call neurolemma. Sorry, so which we call see, two layers are present over the axon, right? So the outer one is neurolemma, which is made of Schwann cells. And this layer secretes another layer inside, not outside. That is what is important here. So here axon, next to that we can find myelin sheath, then next to that we can find neurolemma. So the cells present in the neurolemma, what do you call Schwann cells? They secrete inside. This side, they produce another layer, white colored layer, which we call myelin sheath. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, when you focus over the myelin sheath, and there are certain gaps you can find, it doesn't cover, the myelin sheath doesn't cover entire axon. At certain places, you do not find the myelin sheath, and those places we call as node of Ranvier. Node of Ranvier. At certain places, no down. At certain places over the axon, at certain places over the axon, myelin sheath is absent. Myelin sheath is absent, which are known as which are known as nodes of Ranvier. Nodes of Ranvier. Have you done, Mark?
Yes, sir.
Right. So now, see, in the neurons, we are going to classify into two types based on the structure. In certain neurons, you do not find this myelin sheath. Myelin sheath, if it is absent, we call them as unmyelinated neuron. Unmyelinated neuron. If myelin sheath is present, we call it as myelinated neuron. No doubt. The neurons with myelin sheath, the neurons with myelin sheath neurons with myelin sheath are called myelinated neurons or medullated. Myelinated or medullated neurons. So opposite. Next, the neurons without myelin sheath are called unmyelinated neurons or unmedullated neurons. Done, ma?
Yes, sir.
So, okay, then one more important point. Now, based on the structure, you have divided myelinated and unmyelinated, whether myelin sheath is present or absent. Based on the function, also you can divide the neurons into three types. So, based on the function, for example, someone is pinching here, that you could able to understand that. So, here there is a nerve which can carry the information. So, skin is one of the sense organs of the body. So we have five senses, and from sense organs, the information is passed to the spinal cord or brain. So the nerves which carry information from sense organs to spinal cord or brain, we call them as sensory nerves. Or nerves means sensory neuron, you can say. Okay, sensory neuron. Note down, based on the function, sensory neurons. Based on the function, neurons are classified into three types. Based on the function, neurons are classified into three types. Sensory neuron. Number two, motor neuron, M-O-T-O-R. Motor neuron. Number three, interneuron, I-N-T-E-R. Interneuron. Sensory neuron, motor neuron, and interneuron. Completed?
Completed, sir.
Okay, what do you mean by sensory neuron? The neurons which carry information from sense organs to write down. Sensory neurons carry information from sense organs to spinal cord or brain. Sensory neurons carry information from sense organs to spinal cord or brain. Then motor neurons. So motor neurons, so they are in reverse function. So they bring information from brain or spinal cord to body parts. Motor neurons bring information. Motor neurons bring information from brain or spinal cord. From brain or spinal cord to the muscles. Right? Then what about interneurons? They are not. They do not have any specific function here. So because actually when someone are pinching here, the information has to go into the to the spinal cord or brain. From there again response has to come. So here there must be a connection. So there must be a neuron which can connect this sensory neuron and motor neuron. So interneurons will be they are connecting links. So interneuron connects, no doubt. Interneuron connects interneuron connects sensory neuron and motor neuron in brain and spinal cord. In brain and spinal cord. Right, Ma?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So any doubts here?
No doubt, sir.
So the fundamental difference between the dendrites and axon. Dendrites generally there are many in number, whereas axon only one. So dendrites are short, axon is long. In dendrites, you can find micelle granules and neurofibrils. In axon, micelle granules are absent, neurofibrils are present. Dendrites, they receive information and they receive information. Here the information is processed and the information is sent. So this is for entry, this is for exit. So information is taken to the neuron by the dendrons or dendrites, and it is given out, passed to some other neuron by the axon, right? So at the end, generally it is unbranched structure that you need to remember. Axon. Basically here you do not find, but it ends with a certain end up. So which we call neuroarborations or else nerve terminals, and there will be little bulgings you can find, which we call synaptic knobs. Here you can find plenty of mitochondria, right? So, and along with that, certain chemicals are present, which we call neurotransmitters, that we will discuss in the next class. And axon, it is covered with two layers, so myelin sheath and neurolemma. So here, myelin sheath is secreted or produced by neurolemma, and neurolemma is a layer which is made of Schwann cells. Okay,
Yes, sir.
right. So you practice all this information. So we'll meet in the next class. Okay, bye.
Thank you, sir.